video games are the biggest thing in feature films right now. And so Mario proved that, right? Super Mario proved that. And um, one of the things was Mario. Mario is just unbelievable. Um, but before I get to that article, okay, I want to talk about something else related to video games because video games have been getting bigger and better with graphics and more details for years and years and years and years until what we have today is nearly virtual reality. This comes from Scott Mendelson, who's a phenomenal writer for the Rap Guys. If you haven't looked at his work, go check it out. And the headline reads, Fandom's Inside Gaming Survey debunks stereotypes about who's playing video games. The stereotype of a gamer being a young vulgar male loner playing all hours of the night in their parents' basement, was never terribly accurate. After all, in 2021, 41% of the 189 million video game players were female. And a new study from Fandom disproves further notions. Culled from a sampling of 15,000 from the site's monthly 300 million monthly visitors, the biggest revelation is that millennials, generally aged 27 to 42, are the biggest gamer demographics. 52% of this age group identifies video games as their top recreational hobby. Amongst other highlights from the study, 80% of those polled claimed that they play a game even if they weren't fan of the franchise, which is the kind of experimental courage of which moviegoers could use more of. Meanwhile, over the last 5 years of engagement, the engagement has increased across every demographic, platform, and genre, within 45% of gamers spending more and more time with their favorite hobby than before. Meanwhile, again dispelling popular wisdom, parents and guardians are claiming to see the benefits of gaming with their kids. Co gaming parents are 83% more likely to agree that, quote, gaming fosters leadership skills, end quote. 77% are more likely to agree with it, quote, teaches important life skills, end quote. And 38% are more likely to agree that it, quote, establishes teamwork and collaboration, end quote. In a show of how much Nintendo has dominated the parent kid demographic, the top five games parents play with their kids are various Super Mario games at 50%, Minecraft at 48%, Roblox at 48%, Super Smash Bros. At 33%, and the various Kirby titles at 32%. 86% of the fandom gamers are influenced to buy to purpose to 80 let me rephrase that. 86% of fandom gamers are influenced to purchase a brand or product that invests significantly in the gaming space, and nearly half are heavily influenced to do so. 40% of fandom's millennial audience spends over 22 hours per week gaming, only compared to 29% of tweens. In terms of multimedia opportunities, 57% of the participants say that the storyline and narrative are the key importance, which argues that such story driven games as The Last of Us make for better, more promising television shows or movies. While gamers will try a game that is either new to them, franchise, or an original, 70% declare that they'll try a new game in that preferred franchise. As such, with the film and television games based on established brands like Harry Potter, which recently just came out with, I believe it was Hogwarts Academy, and Star Wars and the MCU have a leg up in the competition. The study also details which streaming platforms are most likely to be frequented by players for what video games. For example, the players of the Mega Man series are 161 more times likely to watch Disney Plus, while Angry Bird players are 37 more times likely to access Peacock. As such, there is less surprise that a streaming platform known for Game of Thrones would favor players like White Wolf and Castlevania. Amusingly, Apple TV viewers way over index for God of War, There's a God of War series in development but for Prime Video, where it doesn't register in the top 10. Biggest growth in overall time spent gaming versus last year seen among tweens and teens was 63 and 48% respectively. The top ranking factors for trying new games are game quality, storyline, and plot. That is, design and visuals, suggesting that the gamers across the board are more looking for more advanced, immersive, and engaging experiences. It also suggests that the gamers are less inclined to require a known IP or recognizable marquee players, again, giving the medium of the overall advantage for film and television. Meanwhile, participants ranked overall motivation. Stress relief topped with 48%, followed by relaxation at 47 and escapism at 45. The survey argued that the younger gamers are more interested in competitive games and making social connections, while older players are aimed for intellectual stimulation. Tweens tended to gravitate toward fighting games, racing games, and survival games, while millennials preferred MMOs or multi I forgot what it stood for. MMOs, strategy and related role-playing games like Elden Ring and World of Warcraft. Among these parents who play these games, 56% do so in a fun activity to do together, and 44 do it because their kids requested it. 41% do it because they're gamers and wish to continue the trend. There was no polling done on how many parents play games with their kids to demolish the spawn in competitive gaming and crush their spirits to the point of tears, but at least it's probably 25%. So let's cover this because it's important. And I think that when you have so it was a long article, but let's go back to a couple of things. Number one, I love video games. I'll just be honest. I've been playing video games. I'm 47 years old. My first video game experience for me was my first video game like system. Okay, I had an Odyssey way, way, way back in the day, but I didn't really play it. Okay, it was like four. The first time I really got a video game system, okay, I was 13 or 14, and I was that big, big brick gray Game Boy that came with Super Mario Brothers. I would play that religiously in Tetris. I had some other games too, but that started me on my path to play video games. And then it was the PlayStation. And over the many years, there were only about of all the gaming consoles out there. I don't think I've had maybe everything except two or three of them: the GameCube, the N64, and a couple others. Saturn. Anyways, but what this article Scott wrote is saying is that it's not just your average run of the mill 18 to 34 males playing these games. Because if you take a look at some of the biggest games, okay, God of War, The Last of Us, even Madden, okay, it's not just teenagers playing these games. They're grown men like myself playing online. You know, um, I can't tell you how many video game channels there are on this platform. It's huge. I mean, I watch at least three different um, gaming channels, and it's huge. So when you see these kind of numbers, it's it's not only impressive, but it's encouraging. Um, and studios just try to make these things more and more relevant. Um, Meaning the developing studios. I love video games. The fact that a lot of females play video games is cool because we never had that 25, 30 years ago. I mean, you had Tomb Raider, sure, but that was more for the guy, right? You know, you had a very sexualized Laura Croft. But now you have all these other games that are driven toward females, and it's phenomenal. Um, but yeah, I thought that that was a interesting and fascinating piece because it speaks to you know everything that's going on, and one can correlate into the other. And yeah, So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you like playing video games? If so, what games do you enjoy playing? What consoles do you have? How often do you play? Let me know all that stuff down in the comments, guys.